The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Evening and welcome to Weyburn City Council for Monday, August 11th. This is our only meeting in the month of August, so we have a really long agenda. I will note that Councillor Janke is unable to join us tonight, but other than that, we've got a full house and a full agenda tonight. Updated user fees for leisure facilities, home-based business, and then a very important presentation from Weyburn Minor Football that we're all looking forward to. So I would suggest we get to work. So first on the agenda is the minutes from these July meetings.
Your Worship, I will make a motion that the minutes of the regular council meeting and the strategic planning and priorities meeting held on July 14th, 2025 be approved.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any edits or changes or conversation around the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Thank you. So the agenda is out for everybody to see. Are there any additions, changes to the agenda? Administration?
Thanks, Your Worship. No changes tonight.
Council? Nothing? All right. We'll keep going. I apologize for the tickle in my throat. No public hearings or notices, no delegations, proclamations, or petitions. So we will right away do the consent agenda. That is the cash activity report, the fire chief's report, the public works report, and the water treatment plant report. If we could get a motion to get that on the floor, please.
Your Worship, I'll make the motion that the items on the consent agenda be approved. That's the cash activity report, the fire chief's report, the public works report, and the water treatment plant report.
And a seconder.
Your Worship, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Any conversation around those four items? Okay, hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. As always, those and all of this is available on the city's website if anybody would like to dive into them. Okay, excuse me, on to our motions. First up, and I know it seems unreal to already be talking about 2026, but it's time we set the council meeting schedule for next year. We'll turn that over to the city clerk.
Okay, so the council procedures bylaw states that the regular meeting of council shall be held on the second and fourth Monday of every month unless otherwise directed by council by a resolution at a preceding council meeting. So each year council passes a resolution to set the meeting dates. Historically, city council has chosen to cancel one meeting per month, July, August, and December, to allow staff and council to take holidays at peak holiday times. In reviewing the 2026 calendar, the normal meeting dates in July are July 13th and 27th. For August, they would be August 10th and 24th. In December, they would be the 14th and 28th. The 2026 Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association Convention is April 12th to 15th in Regina. Not only is the SUMA convention extremely important convention for council to attend, as it is an opportunity to influence policy both locally and provincially. Dialogue with ministers' sessions provides council with the opportunity to put their municipal issues before the provincial government as well as the media. Typically, the makeup date for this meeting would be the Monday prior. However, this year, April 6th is Easter Monday. Meetings that are affected by statutory holidays are the first meeting of October, which falls on Thanksgiving Day. According to the council procedures bylaw, anytime a regular council meeting falls on a statutory holiday, the meeting is moved to the next regular business day, so no motion is required for the change of date for these meetings. The following are the proposed 2026 council meeting dates. So January 12th and 26th, February 9th and 23rd, March 9th and 23rd, April 7th, which is a Tuesday, and 27th, May 11th and 25th, June 8th and 22nd, July 13th, August 10th, September 14th and 28th, October 13th, which is a Tuesday, and the 26th, November 9th and 23rd, and December 14th. So I would recommend that council approves the 2026 council meeting dates as presented.
Thank you. So let's get a motion first.
Your worship, I would move that council approves the 2026 council meeting dates as presented.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Okay, any conversations around this? Any questions or uncertainties to why we're doing what we're doing? No. Yep, no? Sorry. Okay, thank you for your work. And I know it's hard to try to look, 18 months in advance, but thanks for doing that. So we're good? All right, we'll call the question then. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you very much. Look at us just burning through this. Next up, Parks and Leisure Services rates and fees. And we'll turn this over to our Director of Leisure Services.
Thank you, Your Worship. Some background, the Leisure Service Department conducts a comprehensive user fee and rate review every 3 years to ensure that community access to leisure services remains both affordable and sustainable. Following an intensive process and multiple reviews, rates for the 2025 to 2028 operating seasons have been developed, and if adopted by City Council, will take effect as of September 1st, 2025. The proposed rates have been developed through a process which factored in the following criteria: operational cost projections, cost recovery analysis, historical cost recovery rate, and community expectations. Throughout the development of the proposed rate structure, several factors were taken into consideration to ensure that leisure services operations remain both accessible and sustainable while following the City of Weyburn Leisure Service 50% cost recovery mandate. In general, there are proposed rate increases for pay-to-use services being offered by the Leisure Services Department. These increases were held to be as minimal as possible, and it's important to note that in comparison to other cities within Saskatchewan, the City of Weyburn remains as one of the most affordable locations to access leisure services. The proposed user fee increases are unfortunately required to operate city-owned leisure facilities to address the ongoing impacts of inflation, energy, and supply costs. The Leisure Services Department is constantly seeking funding opportunities and is dedicated to finding operational efficiencies to limit deficits and keep user access affordable. Discussion with several user groups around per-user fees have started. Further data collection and discussions will be scheduled to develop a fee structure that is sustainable to the user groups and the city. The fees collected would be allocated to continually upgrade user spaces such as soccer fields and ball diamonds. All proposed leisure services fees include both GST and PST where applicable. Rates shown will be actual amounts charged at the time of registration or admission. In an effort to provide equal opportunity to all users, drop-in rates, membership fees, and hourly rental costs for regular user groups have been held as consistently as possible throughout all City of Weyburn operated facilities. The Leisure Services Department continues to seek funding opportunities and work with local organizations to implement inclusive and welcoming programs and events for the entire community. We recognize and aim to eliminate barriers holding people back from participating in healthy sport culture and recreational services wherever possible. The following are some examples of the opportunities provided to the public at little or no cost. Free public swimming events, free weekday open skating at Tom's Andy Sports Arena, free Young Fellows public skating at Tom's Andy Sports Arena on Sundays, free access to the art gallery, free access to the tennis courts, free access to the paddling pool and spray parks, free access to numerous outdoor parks, green spaces, and amenities, free access to the Credit Union Spark Center outdoor multi-sport rink. Recommend that the City Council adopt the proposed 2025 to 28 leisure services user rates, with the new rates taking effect September 1st, 2025.
Thank you. All right, if we can get a motion to get this on the floor.
Worship, I'll make the motion that council approves the 2025 to 2028 leisure service user rates taking effect September 1st, 2025.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Okay, now questions from council? Yeah, Councillor Corrigan.
Thank you, Worship.
John, your microphone.
Got it. Thank you.
We're new here.
Yeah. Richard, thanks for all the work you've put into this. Lost my train of thought now. I'm just looking through, and I notice the increases at the arenas over the next 3 years, but I'm not seeing, I don't know if I got the wrong sheets or what, but I'm not seeing increases at the Spark Center or the leisure centers at all over the next 3 years.
That is correct. We've held the rates there for the next 3 years, with some of the leisure facilities being currently out of service, and a lot of rate increases over the years to catch those facilities up to current day standards. It was felt with the previous director and myself and the leisure services manager that we keep those rates maintained for the next 3 years, just to gain some better access to the public.
Okay, perfect. Appreciate that answer. The one that jumped out at me, though, was regarding the Weyburn Red Wing games. And if you could explain why the significant difference in from a preseason game to a regular season game to a playoff game, why there's such a significant variance in our rates for those particular games.
Yes, indeed. With the Red Wing games, we see an increase in public attendance to the facilities as the season goes on, especially in years where they're making the playoffs. Attendance will go from 300 people at the start of the year to 1,700 when we're making it deep into the playoffs. The impact on facility staff for that is immense. We bring in, instead of just one part-time person, we'll bring in up to 3 people for extra support and help. And then we work later in the evening. We bring extra people in the next morning to finish the cleanup and stuff. So, I mean, that's all part of the effort that goes into the Red Wing season, extending that much longer, and to keep the facilities in the pristine condition that we try to do.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate those answers. And of course, you know, costs keep going up, and the cost to run facilities like this increase as time goes along also. So, thank you.
Councillor Higgs?
Well, Councillor Corrigan touched on a couple of my questions. We strive for 50%. What is our actual number? I know I've seen it in the budget, but just for the public's knowledge.
Overall, we don't have numbers for the current season, but we're on target for around 52% when we blend all of leisure services together.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Yeah, Councillor Sidlowski?
Not a question, just more of a comment. Thank you for all of your work on this, Richard. I did compare costs for ice rentals, full well knowing we will have questions from the hockey community most likely. And I looked at Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Mooseman, and it's all very comparable. If some are quite comparable, some are still on the lower side. So just wanted to let anyone know if they do have questions, reach out.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Other questions? I appreciate your commentary earlier about the Spark Center and things like that, about trying to hold those rates, because we do hear sometimes that. So I appreciate that, that you put into there. Richard, thank you very much for that. Okay, last chance. Motion's on the floor to approve as presented, so we'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next up is the request from Weyburn Minor Football, so we will let the city manager is going to present the report first, please.
Yeah, thanks, Your Worship. So the City of Weyburn has received a request for renaming of a property. So we do have naming of civic property and development policy, which is under Resolution 2019-66. This regulates the City of Weyburn neighborhoods, streets, parks, and major municipal owned and controlled facilities. And these can all receive nominations for renaming. Nominations are taken into consideration by an advisory committee, which is the Naming Advisory Committee. Names a master list of municipal owned and controlled facilities, excluding libraries, but including streets, neighborhoods, and parks, is created by the Naming Advisory Committee and approved by City Council. So the City of Weyburn has received a request, which is attached to your report tonight, from the Weyburn Minor Football Association to rename Weyburn Minor Football Field to Brent Allen Field. The nomination included the following nominee contributions. So Brent Allen volunteered countless hours to Weyburn Minor Football over the last 2 decades. He served on Weyburn Minor Football in multiple capacities, as a broadcaster, coach, board member, builder, construction supervisor, and mentor. His efforts helped make Weyburn Minor football what it is today. He is one of the driving forces in the building of the new Weyburn Minor football field, and he provided guidance to players, coaches, board members, and helped create an environment of fun, learning, and giving. So I just did a little background on the field itself. In 2010, Weyburn Minor football approached the city of Weyburn regarding the development of a new football field. They used to do all of their practices over at Jubilee Park. They wanted to have their own space, so they approached the city about that, moving to a new space. Between 2010 and 2012, finalized land requirements and development plans for a site which is on 700 Aiken Street. Between 2012 and 2017, there was field development. And then on September 23rd, 2017, Weyburn Minor football officially opened up their new field. So the Weyburn Minor football is a primary user of the facility, and they have the first rates for any and all events at that site. Weyburn Minor football has, at their own expense, developed and maintained the fixed infrastructure at the facility, including the field lighting, stands, washrooms, irrigations, building, and fences. So going through the request, through the policy, priority for naming under section 3.3 is mayor's elected officials, which have 12 plus years, assigning contributions from an individual from the public or former employees, historical events or figures, name added due to unique or extenuating circumstances or flora or fauna of a local area, or geographical and topographical of the local area. So the following is the review of the process of what was submitted by Weyburn Minor football. So naming process, the priority for naming will be based on the following criterias, and the request fit under point 3, outstanding contributions by individual from the public at large or a former employee in any of the following ways, and then a person who volunteered a significant amount of time, effort, and or resources to support the community services or humanitarian causes. Requests for naming of the properties, all applications for a name to be applied to a specific municipal property or controlled facility, street, neighborhood, or park shall be submitted to the same city's planning department, which went through our planning department for the request. The naming advisory committee will screen all requests for naming a specific municipal controlled property and for the recommendation of City Council, which we're doing tonight. So the application was reviewed by our naming advisory committee, which included His Worship, our 2 members of our Leisure Services, Parks and Leisure Service Committee, Councillor Solosky and Councillor Corrigan. It was reviewed by myself, reviewed by our Director of Leisure Services, Richard Henning, and also by Parks Coordinator Kurt Block. So under that, reviewing the policy, the request for rename was actually approved by the committee. They're saying that they want to have approval from council with the following conditions: that Brent Allen Field will be used as a facility name on all print materials associated with the facility and programming advertisements, and then Weyburn Minor football is responsible for all costs incurred in connection with the modification, replacement, relocation, or reproduction of any sign. So a recommendation that is coming from that committee is that Weyburn City Council approved the request to rename the Weyburn Minor football field, which is at 700 Aiken Street, to Brent Allen Field, subject to the conditions listed above.
Thank you. And on behalf of Weyburn Minor football, Ryan, would you like to, Ryan Maloney, have you come up and speak?
Thank you. My name's Ryan Maloney, I'm the president of Weyburn Minor Football, and I have Brent to thank for that. So Brent actually invited me to come on to Weyburn Minor Football in and around 2010 when he was part of the group spearheading the field development. So I'm fortunate to have many of them here tonight to be here to see this. So Brent obviously was a huge impact on Weyburn Minor Football as a parent, as a coach, as a board member, and just a builder of our facility and our association. So He started out on broadcasting through his work at Access, CableNet as well, and brought voice and passion to minor football in Weyburn. He then moved on to become a coach, guiding young athletes with his patience, knowledge, and encouragement. And then after coaching, he transitioned into a board position. So he helped shape kind of the growth and the strategic direction of our association. Post-board member, well, as a board member also, he continued on as our construction supervisor when we built the new field. So Brent was there every day, making sure everything was going to plan, even sometimes out there by himself in his chair, wheeling around in the mud, just to make sure that the field was progressing as he had planned, or as we had planned. So that was a great asset that we had in Brent for that section of Weyburn Minor Football's past. And then I always feel that he's a mentor as well. So I'm sure everybody here knows Brent. But outside of minor football, he had so many other roles in our community and gave back more than most people will know. So he really set an example for me personally as to what it means to volunteer, whether it's through football, Chamber of Commerce, other groups. And I was fortunate enough to work with Brent in both of those capacities. So he really fostered an environment of fun, learning, and giving back, not just to minor football, but to his community. So he was a steady source of inspiration, and his efforts really helped transform Weyburn Minor Football into what it is today. So thank you for entertaining our nomination for renaming of Weyburn Minor Football Field to Brent Allen Field. I couldn't think of someone who deserves it more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Okay, we get a motion?
Thanks, Your Worship. I am quite happy to make the motion that Council approves the request to rename Weyburn Minor Football Field at 700 Aiken Street to Brent Allen Field, subject to the conditions listed in the report.
Thank you. Seconder?
Your worship, I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much. Any questions, any commentary on this one? Yes, Councillor Bedore.
So I had the blessing of coaching, being on the board, and listening to Brent a lot, and it looks like a small reunion over there in the gallery of minor football. I was involved with minor football for many years, and I can't think of a better person.
Yeah, well said. Yes, Councillor Morissette.
Thanks, Your Worship. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of the volunteers and the businesses that supported Brent as he was out there, hours upon hours of, making sure that the sod was down correctly. So he inspired volunteering in this community, and I think you guys just continue that on. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Councillor Corrigan.
Thank you, Your worship. I've known Brent for many, many years, and his contributions to Weyburn go outside even minor football, and can't obviously be named here because it would take too long to recognize all those contributions he's made to our community and in many sports. And this is a great honor for him and for us to be able to recognize Brent moving forward and remembering his contributions to our city. So thank you for bringing this forward. It's a great thing.
Yep. All right, we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thanks for doing this. It means a lot. And these guys have said it all, so we will continue. Next up is accounts payable. I think we just need a motion for that. Yeah. Councillor Bedore.
Worship, I'll move that the purchases from July 1st, 2025 to July 31st, 2025 in the amount of $1,360,824.07 be approved for payment. The purchases include quick pays of $31,768.29, accounts payable of $763,700.14, direct withdrawals of $563,198.65, and debit transactions of $2,156.99.
Thank you. And a seconder.
I'll second that, Your worship.
Thank you. Any questions on that? No. Very good. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Okay, next up, we'll turn this over to the city clerk. This is a updated council code of ethics bylaw.
Yes, thank you. In accordance with Section 66.1 of the Cities Act, all municipal councils in Saskatchewan are required to adopt a code of ethics bylaw that applies specifically to members of council. The City of Weyburn previously adopted a general code of ethics policy, bylaw number 2016-3343, which applied to both staff and elected officials. However, recent legal and procedural reviews have clarified that separate instruments are required: a code of ethics bylaw for council and a code of conduct policy for staff. The city is currently following the model code of ethics prescribed by the province. The attached draft bylaw number 2025-3501 has been reviewed by MLT Aikens and aligns with the requirements of the Cities Act, including the prescribed model code of ethics and procedures for handling contraventions. The proposed bylaw clearly defines ethical standards and values for council members, including honesty, objectivity, respect, transparency, confidentiality, leadership, and responsibility. It establishes a formal complaint process, including a $100 filing fee and a structured investigation procedure. It outlines potential remedial actions for contraventions ranging from apologies and training to suspension or removal from committees. It includes appendices for formal complaint forms and affirmations of understanding for council and committee members. The bylaw also repeals bylaw number 2016-3343, which previously used kind of a catch-all ethics policy, but is no longer appropriate for council governance. I would recommend that council gives first reading tonight to bylaw 2025-3501, a bylaw to adopt a code of ethics for members of council and members appointed to boards, committees, controlled corporations, and other bodies established by council.
Thank you. Okay, let's get a motion on the floor for this. Councillor Sadlowski.
Your Worship, I move that council give first reading to bylaw 2025-3501, a bylaw to adopt a code of ethics for member of council and members appointed to boards, committees, controlled corporations, and other bodies established by council.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. So any questions on this? And we're only doing first reading tonight, so this will come back September meeting. But any questions from council on this one? Any input? No? Yeah, Councillor Morissette?
Thanks, Your Worship. Just a huge thank you to our city clerk. I've been doing this, a couple of terms now, and we learn something new every single day. And this is just something that it's a great learning tool for us and a great way to protect us as councillors and the city as a whole. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Yep. I would reiterate that. Thank you for your work on this. A lot of research. Okay, if there's nothing else, then I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. So we will see that back next month. Thank you. Okay, on to new business. There's no unfinished business, I suppose I should note that. On to new business. First up is a home-based business application. So we will look to our Coordinator of Planning and Development for that. Go ahead, Char. You can start without the presentation up there.
An application has been received from Joy Jockeyton to operate a retail service home-based business out of their residence at 19 9th Street, legally described as Lot 12, Block 10, Plan M4926, located in the R2 zone. This would be considered a controversial use as this business involves clients being directed to the home throughout the day. The proposed hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The applicant anticipates minimal traffic increase with one vehicle per appointment, and driveway parking is available. Neighborhood notices were mailed out on June 23, 2025 to all neighbors within 50 meters of the applicant's home. Residents receiving the notice were given the opportunity to comment on the application, and no concerns or objections were received. We have two decision options for council. Option 1, council approves home-based business permit 2025.014 at 19 9th Street, subject to the following conditions. No person other than a resident of the dwelling shall be engaged in the home-based business as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying the address of the dwelling in which the home-based business occurs may be placed on any media. The home-based business shall not occupy more than 25% of the gross floor area of the dwelling unit. The face of any home-based business sign on site must not exceed 0.092 meters squared and must be placed within the inside half of the front yard setback. The permit is only valid for the above address and is non-transferable to another address. Reapplication will be required if the business moves locations. Home-based businesses are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance, and the applicant's driveway shall be used for off-street parking of clients, and a City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to operation of the home-based business. Option 2, refusal of the home-based business permit 2025.014 at 19 9th Street for the following reason. A permitted use must have a reason for refusal. And staff recommendation, option 1, that council approves the home-based business permit 2025.014 at 19 9th Street, subject to the conditions listed above.
Thank you. Okay, let's get a motion to get that on the floor.
Your worship, I would move that council approves home-based business permit number 2025.014 at 19 9th Street, subject to the conditions listed in the report.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Okay, any questions from council? No questions. We've been doing quite a lot of these again lately, and I think that's good news. Folks are getting the entrepreneurial spirit. Shar, if you could just, we just, once a year or so, we're going to ask all the obvious questions. Whenever somebody comes with one of these, letters go out to the neighbors. The neighbors have an opportunity. There's, again, no responses back, so that's all clear. No more than 25% of the floor plan can be used, no employees, and the signage, 1 square foot, I think, is kind of, if we convert that out, something like that. And then that is governed through bylaw enforcement, correct? Very good. Thank you. Okay. Those were no questions, just statements. Yeah. All right. No other questions? We'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. And we are on to a special occasion permit for the Ag Society. We'll go back to the Director of Leisure Services.
Thank you, Your Worship. Special occasion liquor permits are required by the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority for selling and serving alcohol that is not held in a commercially permitted establishment. Written municipal approval must be submitted respecting all outdoor functions. A special occasion application has been submitted by the Weyburn Agricultural Society for board member appreciation pig roast event on August 23rd. The application outlines plans to install a temporary fence around the building and outdoor area for the event, cook and serve supper in the fenced area, and permit alcohol sales under a special occasion permit. To ensure public safety, the Agricultural Society will have volunteers act as security for the duration of the event. The proposed hours for the event and outdoor liquor service are from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. The Leisure Service Department has reviewed the application and confirmed that all required documentation has been submitted. No concerns were identified during the review process. I recommend that Council provide approval to the Weyburn Agricultural Society to make an application to the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority to sell alcohol during their event held outdoors at the Agricultural Exhibition Grounds on August 23rd, 2025 from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m.
Thanks, Richard. We get a motion?
Your Worship, I'll move that Council provide approval to the Weyburn Agricultural Society to make an application to the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority to sell alcohol during their event held outdoors at the Agricultural Society Exhibition Grounds on August 23rd, 2025 from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any questions for the Director on this one? Pretty straightforward, I think. Thanks for your hard work. Any, nothing? Okay, we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Okay, let's go on to, I suspect there will be many inquiries and announcements. We'll go around the room, I guess. We'll start over on this side and go around. Yeah, Councillor Higgs.
I'd just like to commend everybody that was involved in Heritage Village Days and the over the past weekend. Although Saturday's weather wasn't really that great, but there was a lot of people out, and it's a good event, and it's nice to see our heritage showcased. And the people that I spoke to while I was volunteering were pretty excited about what we have, so I think that's great.
Yeah, thank you. Nothing? Holy smokes. I thought there would be so many. No? Anybody? No? Okay. I would just reiterate gratitude for folks as we have all of our streets under construction. It is a short season, we get to do that. So it can be frustrating, I understand, but please be safe and continue to be respectful of the people working, which I know we are. So I think that's it. No notice of motion. We'll be back here on Monday, September 8th. With that, I'll call this meeting adjourned. There's people in the, I'll hit the thing for showmanship tonight.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today